Prater in the ball game, and my gosh, what a treat. It's a Super Bowl Friday. Seahawks, Patriots, which we are airing all day Sunday. And we're going to go to the Taco Bell hotline and bring in our playoff correspondent, several years over now, Dirk Koetter, former NFL head coach, longtime coordinator, and a Boise football legend. Coach Koetter, welcome back, man. What's Dirk Koetter up to today? You were in the Queen City last week. Where are you at now?
I am just coming back from a little golf outing at Shadow Valley today. And
I told you.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh,
it was good. It was when that sun was out, it was beautiful. And then the breeze came up a little and the clouds rolled in and that temperature dropped. But it was just great to be out there. I mean, golfing in early February in Boise, Idaho, that's crazy.
Who's the best NFL coach golfer you've ever met, Dirk Koetter?
Oh man. Shoot, that's a good question. NFL head coach. There's a bunch of good ones in college, like Neuheisel's a good golfer.
Yeah,
they have a big tournament in Pebble Beach every year. Steve Spurrier was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys always won the money in those coaches tournaments in the college. But I don't know NFL wise. I don't see many NFL guys out there golfing till they're done.
That's crazy. I mean, there's too much work to be done. Yeah.
yes, sir.
Dirk, have you ever been to a Super Bowl before?
I have not, and I always said I would never go until I got to play in one. So it's not looking too good for me right now. Maybe my son will get in one and I can go.
Oh, dude, I mean, the Bengals aren't far off. They were in a Super Bowl a few years back. They get that thing going again. Absolutely. Dirk Kutter's going to be at that Super Bowl. Heck yeah.
Yeah. I like watching it on TV. I'm a watch on TV guy, and I don't mind. It's not going to kill me to not be there if I never go to one.
I'm going to get nerdy with you, Coach, and I want you to talk about the Mike Macdonald Seattle Seahawk defense and just kind of how it works. They disguise their front. They run stunts, simulated pressures, which is like another word, I think, for like a zone blitz, but you know this really, really well. This type of defense, I guess. I don't know if it's new or not to the league, but what have you seen since you've been studying the Seahawks so closely the last month or so with this D?
Yeah, first of all, let's clear up when people use that term stimulated pressure, what that means is they're still only doing a four-man rush, but they're blitzing either one of their linebackers or one of their safeties, and they're dropping out one of their D linemen, one of their front four. So it still ends up being a four-man rush, but it's just not your typical front four. That's what a simulated pressure means. Now, what Coach Macdonald has brought and what they do is, one, they like to stay in nickel defense, meaning 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 DBs. They like to stay in nickel, even if you go with multiple tight ends, and they like to play a too high shell. So that means they're either playing versions of quarters coverage or versions of 2 deep coverage. And normally what that does, if you're seeing split safety defenses, 2 high coverages, that's challenging the offense to run the ball. Like I just read a thing today that Seattle is in true 8-man front, one of the bottom 5 in the NFL. And so they're challenging you to run the ball, and teams have not been able to run the ball successfully. They're one of the top teams against the run. So, they want to try to make the quarterback see coverage after the snap, and they're going to change it up on him. But that's where those sim pressures come in. But he's challenging you to stay patient with your run game, and people have not been able to beat him running it. Now, the only team that's really thrown it successfully on him is the Rams.
Coach Koetter, last week in that game, the Rams were 2 weeks ago, the Rams were very successful. They had 476 yards of offense, and Mike Macdonald said, they came out in a lot of 12 personnel. And Mike Macdonald said that the Rams had not used 12 personnel like all year, so they didn't practice for it, and then they kind of hit them blindsided with it. If you're Mike Vrabel, are you running 12 personnel and making them try to stop it again, or do you think it's that only worked because it was Sean McVay? Could you explain that one to me a little bit?
Yeah, that's what teams do when they try to get you out of nickel defense. Is they're either going to play 12 personnel is one back, two tight ends, two wideouts, and the Rams have been using a lot of 13 personnel, one running back, three tight ends, and only one wide receiver. Teams, if you want to get a team out of nickel defense and make them put an extra linebacker in the game, you get bigger. You put bigger bodies out there. The Rams hadn't been doing much 12 before, but they'd been doing a lot of 13 and a lot of 11. I just think that New England, some of that depends on your own personnel. I think the Rams are like 4 deep at tight end, and coached by former Broncos Scooter Huff, by the way. But I don't know if New England is deep enough. I think they got Hunter Henry as their main tight end, and then Austin Hooper, who I had the good fortune to coach him in Atlanta. He's been in the league 10 years. He's their second tight end. That's the game right there. Does all these coaches have to decide, are you going to keep doing what we've been doing best, or do we do what other teams have had success against them?
Dirk Koetter, our NFL playoff correspondent, he's previewing, and later on here in this segment, we're going to predict the Super Bowl. I think you're on a red-hot streak here, so a lot of people are depending on you to come through, Coach. Let's flip that conversation over, and I got kind of the same questions about the Patriots, and this is supposed to be a defensive Super Bowl. I don't know if it'll be 13-3 like one of those low-scoring Super Bowls a few years ago, but if the Patriots are to win this with defense, how's it going to look?
Well, what everybody seems to think the big question is, one of Belichick's, when he was the coach for years and years at New England, he was always going to try to take away your best player on the perimeter. And what they would do is they would double team, they would take their second best corner and a safety and double team your best receiver, which would be Jackson Smith and Jibba for Seattle. And then they take your best corner and play him on your number 2 receiver. Now, Vrabel has not, even though he's a Belichick disciple, he has not been doing that so far. But after Jackson went over 100 yards last week, and I think his projected number is around 75 yards for the Super Bowl. I think that's one of the questions. Are they saying, okay, we're going to see if Cooper Kupp and Rashid can beat us? That's the big question. New England has not been as big of a man team this year as they were under Belichick. They played more zone. They are very tough to run the ball against. And, obviously we know here in Boise that Seattle has had an injury to their second running back. So George Holani has stepped into that role, and he played like 30-something% of the snaps last game in the championship. So we're just going to have to see. Are the Seahawks? Are the Patriots are they going to double up on Jackson Smith and Jimba, and then we're going to have to try to go elsewhere with the ball, or are they just going to play normal? And is Seattle going to be able to get Kenneth Walker going in the run game? That's kind of the wait and see part of this.
All right. Well, so defense sets the table. We'll see how the offenses respond. A coaching question here. We've been talking coaching, but. Vrabel's obviously been in the league. He's got the more experience, but McDonald's got his team here, so you got to think that he knows what he's doing. Who's, based on the way these two coaches and based on the way these kinds of games goes, you just set the table with defense. Which coach is better prepared to make adjustments and win this football game?
I would say Vrabel. I would say Vrabel is, he has been prone more to use analytics. He's been more aggressive going forward on 4th down than McDonald has. I would say that Vrabel, I think that's one thing, a team that goes from 4-13 to the Super Bowl in 1 year. I think the situational football is where New England might be one of the few places that New England has the edge.
Dirk Koetter, playoff correspondent, Taco Bell Hotline here on Prater and the Ballgame. I want to talk about Drake May a little bit with you, Coach. He darn near won an MVP in his second year in the league. He might darn near win a Super Bowl MVP on Sunday. But if you look at his numbers, my gosh, I know the competition steps up in the playoffs, but I mean, he went from leading the league in completion percentage at 72%. And then the playoffs, he's 55%. Took a major step back and the weather, whatnot. What's your take on the different Drake May I've been watching in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think there's three things, Johnny, with that. One, Drake May during the season, the Patriots had the easiest schedule in the league. He's gone against really good defenses the last 3 games. Number two, he's been in some bad weather the last couple games. So schedule strength, weather, and then thirdly, and maybe most importantly, I don't think Drake May is completely healthy. It's come out that he's battling a little bit of a shoulder situation. He just has not been throwing the ball with as much crispness, as much maybe just anticipation as he did during the season. So what he has been doing a great job of, though, is using his legs to get him out of trouble. And Seattle is not a team that likes to put a spy on the quarterback. So, a lot of the pundits out there are saying for the Patriots to win, Drake May is going to have a good day with his legs. But that 15+% completion percentage drop off from the regular season to the playoffs, I think is very significant and probably means that Drake May's hurting more than he's letting on.
That's certainly something to keep an eye on. All right, there's a lot of X's and O's stuff there, and the quirky stuff, the intangibles, the things that always seem to crop up during the Super Bowl, whether it's Seattle's playing closer to home, Seattle's playing in a stadium that they play in all the time, weather, whatever the other intangibles. Does a smart football guy like you look at any intangibles, and do you see any that can make a difference in this football game?
Well, you just named them. That Seattle's had the shorter road, the lesser travel. They played in that 49er stadium, much more often. They're more familiar with it.
Does that matter?
But then
does that matter, Coach?
I don't think it does in the Super Bowl. And then the other thing, in favor of the Patriots are like 9-0 in their last 9 road games. I mean, they were out there doing the Warriors chant, last year, and Vrabel was chanting it in the locker room, and the one receiver was chanting it when he went to the stadium. So, they've really adopted that road Warriors mentality. So I just think the hype of the Super Bowl, the length of the halftime, that's all stuff that Vrabel's got experience with. So once again, and maybe the intangibles and analytics side, maybe it's advantage Patriots.
Talking Super Bowl with Dirk Koetter here on Prater on the Ball Game. Coach, you were still in the league as a head coach for the 2018 NFL draft and all those quarterbacks. You guys were set at the position with Jameis, so I'm not sure how deep you went on the Sam Darnold process, but you were there. What did you think of Darnold coming out of USC, Coach Koetter?
Yeah, we did not study him coming out. Like you said, we had drafted a quarterback number 1 just a year or two before that. So, yeah, I did not see that. I did not study him coming out.
What do you see from him in the last 2 games? I mean, where's Darnold impressing you? Where is he? Maybe not so much.
Well, nobody can argue with the fact that a year ago with the Vikings, this year with the Seahawks, the only 2 guys that have won that many games over a 2-year period, it's only been done twice in NFL history, and the other 2 guys are Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, everybody keeps waiting for Sam Darnold to choke, and they feel like pressure up the middle makes him nervous. And, that's something that New England has a couple of good defensive tackles, and maybe Seattle's one weak spot on the O-line is one of their guards. But, I mean, at what point are they going to say, hey, Darnold's just pretty damn good? I mean, he's won 26 games over the last 2 years. So 26 regular season games. So, I mean, this guy's playing at a high level. I think you got to say right now, edge of the Super Bowl quarterback-wise goes to the Seahawks.
All right, we'll get to your prediction here next, but our annual tradition is we always like to bug you about what you do on Super Bowl Sunday. I would imagine there's Mrs. Koetter and a bowl of chips and $5 to do some gambling. What does Dirk Koetter do on Sunday?
Yeah, I like to see what the latest prop bets are. I like to see what the fun bets are, and I like to look at guys that I coached or former Boise State guys and see what they're. You're rooting for players. I want to see George Halani do well. I want to see Austin Hooper do well. I want to see those guys. It's fun to do that kind of stuff. One of my favorite ones. I haven't seen it yet for this year. Is they always put a time limit on is the national anthem. Whoever's singing the national anthem going to go over and under. And I like to go look and see when those people sang the national anthem and see if you can sneak in a little side bet on that.
Go for the over, Coach.
We were heard to take the over.
Yeah, we've been told by the experts to go for the over.
Who's singing it? Who's singing it this year?
Some country dude who has never sang the national anthem in public before.
Oh, wow.
So there's no tape to study, Coach.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough
one.
Well,
a couple years ago, Christina Aguilera, that was a gimme bet. Like she jazzed it up, and you knew she was going over.
Nice. Do you have a dog?
Do not.
Okay, I was going to say, because Prater didn't throw in the fact that maybe the dog would be running around when you're watching the Super Bowl too. But okay, I think it's time. Coach Dirk Koetter, you've put your homework in. Gosh, we're going to miss these Fridays with you. What do you have for Super Bowl 60? Who's going to win and how it's going to go?
Yeah, well, we've been on a little hot streak. We've been on a hot streak picking these, and
oh yeah,
I just think when you really look at it, team that's playing the best. I think if you broke down the position groups even further than offense, defense, special teams, but you broke it down, secondary, linebackers, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. I think it's hard to not say that Seattle is better at almost every position. And, you give New England credit for everything they've done. They got a couple breaks along the way, Denver not having their quarterback. But I am going to have to say the Seattle Seahawks are going to win, and I think they're going to cover.
Dirk Koetter, Seahawks.
You just made Johnny's weekend.
Yeah, you did, Coach. Appreciate you, man.
I didn't say it because of that. I'm saying it because that's what my eyes are telling me. And I know there's a lot of Seahawk fans. And what about a guy like Seahawk DeMarcus Lawrence having a great postseason for the Seahawks, and I think he's got a really favorable matchup versus a rookie left tackle for the Patriots. So maybe look for him to make a couple plays, but. Yeah, I think Seattle's the better team. I think they're playing better, and all hats off to New England for getting here and what they've done. And if they win it, again, I think I read today underdogs have won 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. But I'm still saying that I'm going with the Seahawks, and I think they'll win by more than what that spread is.
Not this time. I love it. Okay, Dirk Koetter, enjoy Super Bowl 60. Always appreciate your time. We'll be in touch. Dirk. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
That's great stuff. Blue Ice Vodka.
Blue Ice Vodka.
Blue Ice Vodka.
It was Blue Ice Vodka was made for the Super Bowl ball game. It was absolutely made for the Super Bowl, and it's made right here in Idaho. And you guys have been hear me talking about Blue Ice Vodka. You got to go pick up a quick bottle for this weekend. Super Bowl parties. You got all kinds of options. You got plain vodka. You got huckleberry vodka. You got double espresso vodka. You shake that sucker up and you put it in a shot glass, or maybe the huckleberry with a lemon. It's the perfect party flavor. It's the perfect way to fix your party and make it just right. So go out today, get the liquor store, Blue Ice Vodka, a new member of the KTIK family. It's an Idaho product made right here in Idaho, distilled right here in Idaho with 100% Idaho products. Blue Ice Vodka. And just do us a favor, guys, especially this weekend, especially at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. Don't drink and drive, and please be responsible.
All right, Friday 5, KTIK, the ticket next.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studio.